Have you ever wondered why some people seem to fade after 80, even if they were sharp and vibrant just a few years before? It's not just about genetics or luck. There are hidden factors at play that most people overlook. In this video, we're diving into 5 unexpected reasons why many older adults struggle to stay healthy and live long past 80, and what you can do to change that. You need to watch until the end because these surprising insights could transform the way you or your loved ones age, giving you practical steps to stay vital and engaged for years to come. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. Loss of microsocial engagement. One of the most insidious yet frequently overlooked factors contributing to why many individuals do not live well beyond the age of 80 is the gradual erosion of what gerontologists and social scientists term microsocial engagement. These are not the profound, emotionally rich connections you share with close friends, lifelong partners, or immediate family members. Those, of course, remain critical to emotional well-being. Instead, microsocial engagements refer to the fleeting, often unremarkable interactions that weave themselves into the fabric of daily life, so subtle that their absence might go unnoticed until their cumulative loss takes a toll. Picture the casual moments that once punctuated your routine, exchanging a warm greeting with the mail carrier as they drop off your letters, sharing a light-hearted quip with the barista at your local coffee shop, or offering a knowing nod to a neighbor as they walk their dog past your front yard. These brief encounters, seemingly trivial, serve a far greater purpose than mere pleasantries. They act as microdoses of human connection, subtly regulating your nervous system, reinforcing your sense of belonging in a community, and keeping the intricate social circuitry of your brain active and engaged. These interactions are the background hum of social life, providing a sense of purpose and place without demanding the emotional energy of deeper relationships. However, for many adults over 80, these microsocial touchpoints begin to fade, often for reasons that seem practical or unavoidable. Physical limitations, such as declining mobility or chronic pain, may make trips to the grocery store or post office feel daunting, prompting reliance on online shopping or assistance from family members. Sensory changes, like hearing loss, can make casual conversations with strangers feel strained or embarrassing, leading to social withdrawal. Even environmental factors, such as inclement weather or uneven sidewalks, may discourage older adults from venturing outside, reducing opportunities for these small but vital interactions. Over time, what begins as a practical adjustment, skipping a walk to avoid the cold or ordering groceries online, snowballs into a profound reduction in social contact. The consequences of this loss are not immediately apparent, which is why it is so dangerous. Most people don't consciously register the absence of these interactions. They may even feel they are streamlining their lives for efficiency or comfort. But the reality is far more complex. These microsocial moments are not just pleasant, they are biologically essential. They stimulate the brain's prefrontal cortex and limbic system, areas responsible for attention, memory, and emotional regulation. They trigger the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine and oxytocin, which elevate mood and reduce stress. They signal to the body that it is still an active participant in the social world, a message that has cascading effects on physical health. When these interactions diminish, the brain and body begin to respond as if under stress. Loneliness, even in its subtle low-grade form, activates the body's stress response, elevating cortisol levels, increasing inflammation, and weakening immune function. Over time, this chronic stress can accelerate cognitive decline, impair memory, and erode emotional resilience. Studies have shown that social isolation is as detrimental to health as smoking or obesity, with a direct correlation to increased mortality risk. For older adults, the loss of microsocial engagement can be particularly devastating because it compounds other age-related challenges, such as reduced physical activity or chronic health conditions. The beauty of microsocial engagement lies in its simplicity and accessibility. I've witnessed individuals in their 80s and 90s maintain remarkable vitality simply by preserving these small rituals of connection. Take, for example, a retired teacher named Clara, who, at 87, walked to her local bakery every morning. The 5-minute journey wasn't just about picking up a loaf of bread, it was about exchanging smiles with the baker, commenting on the weather with a fellow customer, and waving to a familiar face on the street. These moments gave her day structure and purpose. They reminded her that she was seen, that she mattered. When Clara's arthritis worsened, her family encouraged her to stop walking, but she insisted on continuing, using a cane and taking shorter routes. Her persistence wasn't just about stubbornness, it was about preserving the social threads that kept her anchored to the world. To counteract the loss of microsocial engagement, older adults must be intentional about seeking out these moments, even in small ways. This could mean striking up a brief conversation with a cashier, attending a community event, or simply sitting on a park bench where passers-by might offer a greeting. For those with mobility or sensory limitations, technology can help bridge the gap. Video calls with neighbors or participation in online community groups can replicate some of the benefits of in-person interaction. The key is to recognize that these moments, however fleeting, are not expendable. They are a form of nourishment, as vital to longevity as a balanced diet or regular exercise. By prioritizing microsocial engagement, older adults can send a powerful message to their brain and body. You are still here. You are still connected. You are still alive. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 2. Overcautious inactivity. Another silent but pervasive factor that shortens the lives of many individuals past 80 is the gradual slide into what might be called overcautious inactivity. At first glance, this behavior appears to be a hallmark of wisdom. After all, caution is often associated with experience and prudence. But there exists a delicate balance between taking reasonable precautions and allowing fear to dictate one's actions, and crossing that line can have profound, long-term consequences that are rarely immediate but always cumulative. The descent into overcautious inactivity often begins with a single, seemingly rational decision. Perhaps you tripped on a loose step or felt a momentary loss of balance while walking on an uneven sidewalk. The memory of that near miss lingers, prompting you to avoid certain activities. No more walks in the park, no more bending to retrieve items from low shelves, no more climbing into the back seat of a car. Family members and friends may reinforce this caution, urging you to take it easy or not push yourself. Their concern is well-meaning, but it can inadvertently set the stage for a sedentary lifestyle that erodes physical and mental vitality. The human body is not designed for prolonged stillness. Unlike a machine that conserves energy when idle, the body thrives on movement, much like a garden that flourishes with regular care. When physical activity diminishes, the effects are far-reaching. Muscle mass begins to atrophy, particularly in the core muscles of the trunk, which are essential for stability, posture, and basic movements like standing or getting out of a chair. Even a few weeks of reduced activity can lead to measurable muscle loss, which in turn compromises balance and coordination. This creates a vicious cycle. As balance weakens, the fear of falling grows, leading to further inactivity and even greater physical decline. The story of Walter, an 82-year-old former carpenter, illustrates this cycle vividly. Walter was once an avid walker, covering a mile every evening through his neighborhood. But after slipping on a wet sidewalk one rainy day, he decided to stop his walks, fearing another fall. The slip hadn't caused any serious injury, just a bruised ego and a moment of panic. Yet that single incident was enough to alter his habits permanently. Within 6 months, Walter's muscle mass had decreased significantly, his legs felt unsteady, and simple tasks like climbing stairs became daunting. His doctor noted that his inactivity, not his age, was the primary driver of his decline. Walter didn't become weak because he stopped walking. He stopped walking and then became weak. This distinction is critical. Overcautious inactivity is not an inevitable consequence of aging. It is a choice, often made unconsciously, that can be reversed with deliberate effort. Managing risk does not mean eliminating movement. Practical adaptations, such as using handrails, wearing supportive shoes, or incorporating a walker or cane, can enable older adults to stay active while minimizing danger. Physical therapy or low-impact exercise programs, like Tai Chi or water aerobics, can rebuild strength and confidence, breaking the cycle of fear and immobility. The benefits of movement extend far beyond physical health. Regular activity stimulates the brain, enhancing cognitive function and reducing the risk of depression and anxiety. It improves circulation, supports cardiovascular health, and regulates blood sugar and inflammation. Most importantly, movement reinforces the body's sense of purpose, signaling that it is still needed, still capable, still alive. For older adults, The goal is not to run marathons or lift heavy weights, but to engage in consistent, intentional movement. Whether that's a daily walk, gentle stretching, or household chores. The key question to ask is not, can I do this? But, am I avoiding this out of fear? By choosing movement over caution, older adults can preserve their strength, their independence, and their zest for life. Number 3. Disrupted sleep cycles from irregular light exposure. Deep within the human body lies a silent, invisible clock that governs nearly every aspect of health, the circadian rhythm. This internal timekeeper regulates mood, metabolism, immune function, and even the brain's ability to repair and rejuvenate during sleep. For individuals over 80, the circadian rhythm becomes increasingly fragile, and one of the most common disruptors is irregular exposure to light. Too little natural light during the day and too much artificial light at night. This seemingly minor imbalance can have cascading effects on health, hastening physical and cognitive decline. The circadian rhythm relies on environmental cues, particularly light, to stay synchronized. Bright, natural light in the morning signals the brain to suppress melatonin, the hormone that induces sleep, and to ramp up alertness and energy. As the day progresses and light fades, the brain begins to produce melatonin again, preparing the body for restful, restorative sleep. But for many older adults, this rhythm is disrupted by lifestyle changes that reduce daytime light exposure and increase evening exposure to artificial light from screens, lamps, or overhead fixtures. These disruptions often stem from practical adjustments. Older adults may spend more time indoors due to mobility issues, cold weather, or a lack of accessible outdoor spaces. They may nap more frequently during the day, especially in brightly lit rooms, which confuses the body's sense of time. In the evenings, habits like watching television, scrolling on a tablet, or reading under bright lights can delay melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep or achieve deep, restorative rest. Over time, these changes lead to fragmented sleep, daytime fatigue, and a host of downstream effects. Weakened immune function, unstable mood, impaired memory, and an increased risk of cognitive decline. The importance of light extends beyond sleep regulation. Exposure to natural sunlight is critical for the production of vitamin D, a nutrient essential for bone health, muscle function, and immune resilience. After age 80, the skin's ability to synthesize vitamin D diminishes, making regular outdoor time even more vital. Low vitamin D levels are associated with a higher risk of fractures, muscle weakness, and chronic illnesses, all of which can erode quality of life and longevity. Consider the case of Helen, an 84-year-old woman who began experiencing persistent fatigue, disorientation, and low mood. Her medical tests revealed no obvious cause, no new medications, no dietary deficiencies, no underlying infections. Her doctor, suspecting a circadian disruption, recommended a simple intervention. Spend 20 minutes each morning sitting by an open window, letting natural light flood in, and avoid screens or bright lights for at least an hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, Helen's sleep quality improved dramatically. She woke up feeling refreshed, her memory sharpened, and her mood lifted. The solution wasn't a pill or a procedure, it was a return to the natural rhythms her body craved. Restoring circadian health doesn't require drastic changes, but it does require intention. Older adults can start by seeking out morning light, even if it's just a few minutes on a balcony or by a window. For those unable to go outside, light therapy lamps that mimic natural sunlight can be an effective alternative. In the evening, dimming lights and limiting screen time can help the body wind down naturally. These adjustments are not mere conveniences. They are a form of biological recalibration, restoring the internal order that aging can disrupt. The body doesn't age solely from wear and tear. It ages from disorganization, from systems falling out of sync. By prioritizing regular light exposure and protecting the circadian rhythm, older adults can send a clear message to their body. We are still in rhythm. We are still engaged. We are still here. This alignment is not just about adding years to life, but about infusing those years with clarity, energy, and purpose. Number 4. Emotional suppression from loss and isolation. As individuals journey into their 80s and beyond, they often bear the weight of profound losses that younger generations may struggle to fathom. The passing of a beloved spouse, the death of a sibling, the departure of lifelong friends, and, in some heartbreaking cases, the loss of a child. These losses are not merely events that fade with time. They accumulate, weaving themselves into the fabric of a person's existence. While society may offer fleeting condolences, a sympathetic nod, or a kind word. What is rarely acknowledged is the profound and lasting impact of these losses, not only on the mind and heart but also on the physical body. Grief at this stage of life is not always expressed as overt sorrow or tears. For many, it manifests as emotional suppression, a quiet, insidious habit of bottling up pain rather than giving it voice. This suppression often stems from societal expectations or personal beliefs. The notion that one should be strong or used to it by now, or the realization that there are few, if any, confidants left who truly understand the depth of what has been lost. The elderly may feel compelled to wear a mask of composure, to say they are fine when asked, even as their inner world is roiling with unprocessed emotions. However, the body does not forget what the mind tries to bury. Unexpressed grief, whether it's sadness, anger, or longing, doesn't simply dissolve. Instead, it becomes stored within the body, manifesting in ways that are both subtle and profound. Over time, this emotional weight can translate into physical symptoms. Chronic stress from suppressed emotions can weaken the immune system, making one more susceptible to illness. It can disrupt digestion, leading to issues like loss of appetite or gastrointestinal discomfort. Sleep patterns may become erratic, with insomnia or restless nights becoming more common. Hormonal imbalances may arise, and the nervous system may remain in a state of low-grade tension, as though perpetually braced for the next blow. This process is often silent, invisible to the outside world. On the surface, an individual may appear calm, composed, even stoic. They may carry on with daily routines, respond politely to inquiries about their well-being, and avoid drawing attention to their inner struggles. But the body tells a different story. Shoulders may slump slightly, as if bearing an unseen burden. Breathing may become shallower, a subtle sign of emotional constraint. The spark that once defined their personality, their zest for life, may dim, leaving them feeling like a shadow of their former self. These changes may not be immediately linked to grief, especially if years have passed since the loss occurred, but the connection is often there, lying beneath the surface. Consider the story of George, an 86-year-old widower who lost his wife of 60 years. George was not one to openly display his emotions. He described crying as not his way, and insisted he was coping well. Yet, within a year of his wife's passing, his health began to decline in ways that were not directly tied to any medical diagnosis. He lost weight, not from illness but from a diminished appetite. He withdrew from social activities, abandoning the senior center where he had once been a regular. His sleep became fragmented, leaving him fatigued and listless. These changes were not the result of a specific disease, but rather the physical manifestation of a sorrow that had never been fully acknowledged or released. The truth is that emotional pain does not need to be dramatic to be damaging. Even quiet, unacknowledged grief can erode one's health over time, and the connection between emotional suppression and physical decline is often overlooked. What enables individuals to thrive well past 80 is not merely physical resilience but emotional ventilation, the ability to process and express feelings in a safe, supportive environment. This could mean having a trusted friend who listens without judgment, a family member who encourages open conversation, or a therapist who helps unpack decades of accumulated stories and emotions. It might also involve solitary practices, such as journaling, prayer, or creative outlets like painting or music, which allow feelings to flow freely. The act of expression is transformative. Saying aloud, "I miss her, I'm still angry," or "I feel alone," can be a powerful release, a way of letting the heart breathe again. When emotions are given space to exist, the body responds in kind, with reduced stress, improved sleep, and a stronger immune response. Those who live long, vibrant lives often have some form of emotional outlet, whether it's a weekly coffee date with a friend, a community group that fosters connection, or a personal ritual that honors their feelings. The form is less important than the function. What is expressed can be healed, while what is buried festers, quietly undermining both emotional and physical health. For those who have been holding on to unprocessed grief, not out of choice but because they lack the space or permission to release it, it's never too late to begin. Creating room for these emotions is not just an act of self-care for the heart but a vital step toward preserving life itself. The heart can only carry so much before it begins to falter, and true longevity requires allowing it to feel, to grieve, and to heal. By doing so, one can move beyond merely surviving into a life that still feels rich, connected, and alive. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, Please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Number 5. Gradual loss of daily purpose. One of the most overlooked factors that prevent people from thriving past 80 is the slow, almost imperceptible loss of daily purpose, a quiet force that shapes our days and fuels our vitality. This is not about grand, existential purpose or lofty life goals, but rather the simple, everyday reasons that compel us to rise each morning. It's the small rituals, responsibilities, and connections that give structure and meaning to our days, from brewing a cup of coffee to tending a garden, visiting a neighbor, or completing a familiar task. Daily purpose is often so woven into the fabric of life that its absence goes unnoticed until it's gone. For many in their 80s, the routines and roles that once defined their days begin to slip away, eroded by the natural changes of aging and circumstance. The weekly card game with friends may disband as peers pass away or move to care facilities. The volunteer position at the local library may end when physical limitations make it difficult to continue. Family visits may become less frequent as children and grandchildren navigate their own busy lives. Even small, personal rituals, like pruning the roses or walking to the corner store, may fade as mobility declines or neighborhoods change. This loss is insidious because it happens gradually, often dismissed as a normal part of aging. Yet its impact is profound. Without a reason to get out of bed, the days begin to blur together, each one emptier than the last. The mind, sensing no forward momentum, sends subtle signals to the body, which responds in kind. Appetite may wane, leading to unintended weight loss or nutritional deficiencies. Physical activity may decrease, contributing to muscle weakness and reduced mobility. Sleep may become irregular as the absence of a daily rhythm disrupts the body's natural cycles. Over time, the systems that regulate health, cardiovascular, immune, neurological, begin to slow, not because they are irreparably damaged, but because they lack a reason to stay active. The story of Ruth, an 88-year-old woman I once met, illustrates the power of daily purpose. Ruth was not wealthy, nor was she in perfect health. She lived alone, with no large family to surround her. Yet she radiated a vitality that belied her age, a spark that set her apart from many of her peers. Her secret lay in the small, consistent rituals that anchored her days. Every Monday, she wrote postcards to shut-ins from her church, a task that connected her to others and gave her a sense of contribution. Every Thursday, she prepared and froze batches of soup for a local shelter, a tangible way of giving back. And every afternoon at 4 p.m., she sat by her window to watch the neighborhood children walk home from school, learning their names and exchanging waves that fostered a quiet sense of community. These acts were not grand or glamorous, but they gave Ruth's days texture and rhythm. They reminded her that she was needed, that her presence mattered. This sense of relevance is the fuel that sustains life, signaling to the body that it must keep going. Research supports this. Studies have shown that a sense of purpose is linked to lower rates of depression, better physical health, and even increased longevity. Purpose tells the brain to stay sharp, the heart to keep pumping, and the cells to keep repairing. When that sense of purpose fades, when an individual feels their existence no longer matters to anyone or anything, the body begins to wind down, not out of failure but out of disuse. Those who live past 80 with grace and vitality often have something that anchors their days, no matter how small. It might be tending a small herb garden on a windowsill, caring for a pet, writing letters to distant relatives, or maintaining a daily prayer practice. It could be as simple as calling a friend each morning or knitting scarves for a local charity. The key is consistency, a predictable rhythm that gives the heart and mind something to anticipate. This rhythm is what keeps the flame of life burning, preventing the slow drift into apathy that can erode both health and happiness. If you've been feeling adrift, as though your days lack shape or meaning, this is not a trivial matter to brush aside. It's a signal from your body and mind, a call to rediscover purpose. Rebuilding that sense of rhythm doesn't require grand gestures. It might mean starting with something as small as setting a daily goal, reading a chapter of a book, watering a plant, or calling a friend. It could involve reconnecting with a community group, exploring a new hobby, or finding a way to contribute, even in a small way, to the world around you. The goal is to create a reason to rise each morning, a spark that tells your body it's still needed. Longevity is not just about the mechanics of a beating heart or a functioning body. It's about the heart's desire to keep beating, the mind's longing to stay engaged, and the soul's quiet wish to still matter. Purpose, even in its simplest form, is the thread that weaves these elements together, creating a life that feels full, connected, and worth living well into the later years. By nurturing that sense of purpose, you can ensure that your days remain vibrant, your health resilient, and your spirit alive, no matter what challenges aging may bring. Thank you for joining us in exploring these 5 unexpected reasons why many older adults struggle to thrive past 80. We've covered everything from the loss of microsocial engagement to the gradual erosion of daily purpose, and how these subtle shifts can make all the difference in how we age. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from this video, and how do you plan to bring it into practice in your life? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights inspire us and others. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.